My name is Grace, and I never thought I would stand outside my own daughter's wedding, like a stranger. I was not inside the hall. I was not sitting with the guests. I was not smiling at my only child as she walked down the aisle. Instead, I was standing outside the big glass doors of the hotel, holding my husband's hand so tight that his fingers turned white. The music was loud inside. People were laughing. Flowers were everywhere. Cars were parked in a long line. And yet, we were not allowed to enter. A young security man blocked the door with his arm. "Madam, sir, I already told you," he said, looking away from my eyes. "Your names are not on the list. We got a clear order. You cannot go in." My husband, Daniel, tried to speak calmly, but his voice shook. "But this is our daughter's wedding," he whispered. "We raised her. She is our only child. Please, just call her. Let her know we are here." The guard looked uncomfortable. He checked his phone again and shook his head. "I'm sorry, sir. The instruction is very clear. You are not allowed to come in. Please don't make this hard for me." His words cut through my heart like a knife. I stared through the glass. I could see lights. I could see people moving. I could see a white dress far inside the hall. Our daughter. The same girl I carried for 9 months. The same girl I stayed awake with when she had fever. The same girl who used to call me my best friend. And now, she did not want us at her wedding. My eyes were full of tears, but I did not want to cry. My legs felt weak, like they would fail me at any moment. I pressed my palm against the cool glass and whispered her name. That was the moment my heart quietly broke. My friend who is listening to my story right now, before I go deeper, please do something for me. If you love emotional and powerful true life stories like this, kindly subscribe to this channel. Click the like button so more people can hear stories like mine. Turn on the notification bell so you will know when the next part of my story drops. And please, go to the comments and tell me where you are watching from. Your city or your country. I want to know who is sitting with me in this pain. Alright, let me continue. Everything started months before the wedding day. Back then, I believed my daughter still loved us. Her name is Sarah, and from when she was little, we were very close. She would run to me after school, talking non-stop about her teachers and friends. On weekends she would sit in the kitchen with me while I cooked. "Mum, when I get married," she would say, smiling, "you will wear the most beautiful dress. And Dad will cry when he sees me in my wedding gown." We would all laugh. Daniel would point at her and say, "Don't marry too soon, oh. Let me enjoy you small." Those days felt so safe, so pure, so warm. But everything changed when she met him. His name was Michael. She met him at work after she finished university. At first, I was happy for her. She sent me pictures of them together. She told me he was kind, hardworking, and serious about their future. "Mum, he is different," she said one evening on the phone. "He listens to me. He respects me. I think he might be the one." I smiled and thanked God. But the first day I met him, my heart became uneasy. He came to our small house wearing a sharp suit, shiny shoes, and a serious face. He greeted us politely, but his eyes were cold. There was no warmth, no joy. It felt like he was acting. "Good evening, sir." "Good evening, Ma," he said. "Thank you for welcoming me." We all sat down in the living room. I tried to ask him simple questions. "So, what do you do, my son?" I asked. "I'm a project manager," he answered shortly. "Project manager where?" my husband added. "A big company in the city," he replied, looking at his phone for a second. I noticed he avoided details. He did not laugh at our jokes. He did not ask about us. It felt like he just wanted to finish and go. After he left, I turned to my daughter. "Sarah, are you sure you know this man well?" I asked gently. She pulled her hand away from mine and frowned. "Mum, why are you like this?" You always look for problems. Can't you just be happy for me? I was shocked by her tone. She had never spoken to me like that. I am happy for you, I said quietly. But I am your mother. I can feel when something is not right. Mum, nothing is wrong, she snapped. You just don't like him because he is not exactly what you imagined. Those words burned. I did not reply. I only went to the kitchen and wiped my tears where she could not see me. From that day, she slowly began to pull away from us. Phone calls became shorter. Visits became rare. She stopped telling me about her day. Whenever I tried to ask about Michael, she would say, "Mum, please, not today." One evening, she came to the house with a serious face and sat us down. "I have something to say," she began. "Michael and I are getting married." I should have jumped. I should have shouted with joy. I should have hugged her. But something about her tone made my body stiff. My husband smiled first. "Congratulations, my baby," he said, trying to stand up to hug her. She did not move. Then she breathed in deeply and continued. "But there will be some rules." "Rules?" I repeated, confused. Sarah looked at us with eyes that did not feel like our little girl's eyes. "Michael thinks it is better if the wedding is small," she said. "No village people. No extended family drama. No stress. Just a simple event with friends." I nodded slowly. "That is fine. Small is okay. As long as your parents are there." She looked away. I felt fear rise in my chest. "Sarah," I said softly, "when is the date? We need to start planning what we will wear." She swallowed and then dropped the bomb. "Mum. Dad," she whispered. "Michael thinks it's better if you don't come to the wedding." The world went silent. I could hear the ceiling fan spinning. I could hear the distant sound of a car passing outside. But inside me, there was a loud noise, the sound of my heart tearing. My husband laughed a dry, shocked laugh. "Stop joking," he said. "What kind of nonsense is that?" "I'm not joking," she replied, her voice shaking. "He believes you don't like him. He says you judge him. He doesn't want any negative energy that day. He wants peace." "So we are negative energy now?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Your own parents." Tears filled her eyes, but she did not take her words back. "Mum, please try to understand. If you love me, just let this one go. It's only one day. After the wedding, we can sit and talk. But that day, please, don't come." I felt the room spin. I grabbed the edge of the chair to keep from falling. "Sarah," my husband said slowly, "if a man tells you to keep your own parents away from your wedding, you should ask yourself if he wants to keep them away from your life." But she had already stood up. "I have decided," she said. "Whether you like it or not, I will marry him. If you come to the venue, they will not let you in. I'm sorry." She walked out of the house, leaving her key on the table, like she was returning something old and useless. Now, here we were. The wedding day. Just as she said, the security would not let us in. We came anyway because we are parents. We could not stay at home while our only child got married. So we stood outside the hall like strangers. The music grew louder. People cheered. I could almost picture her walking down the aisle. "I am her mother," I whispered to myself. "I am her mother." My husband squeezed my hand. "Grace, let's just pray for her," he said quietly. "Even if she doesn't want us, we can still ask God to protect her." I closed my eyes and tried to pray, but something stopped me. Suddenly, the music inside the hall changed. Then it paused. Then we heard a loud crash. The security guard turned around quickly, looking through the glass. From inside, a woman screamed. Guests began to run in different directions. Glasses broke. Chairs fell. Someone shouted, "Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance now." My heart jumped into my throat. I pressed my face against the glass, trying to see clearly. And then, through the confusion, I saw a white dress fall hard to the floor. Someone was lying there, unmoving. The hall was full of noise, but in my head, there was only one question. Is that my daughter? The scream inside the hall did not sound like celebration anymore. It sounded like fear. I pressed both my hands flat against the glass door, my eyes wide, my heart beating so fast it hurt. People were running everywhere. Some were crying. Some were shouting names. The music had stopped completely. What happened? I shouted at the security man. Please, tell me what happened. He did not answer me. He was busy talking into his walkie-talkie with a shaking voice. There's an emergency inside. Someone collapsed. Yes, right in front of the altar. Collapsed. That word hit me like a stone. My daughter. I screamed. That's my daughter in there. Please, let me in. I tried to push past him, but he held up his arm again, even though his hands were shaking now too. Madam, please calm down, he said. We are waiting for instructions. Instructions. My husband Daniel shouted. My child is lying on the floor and you are talking about instructions? People inside the hall started pushing toward the doors. A woman in a red dress ran out crying, her makeup ruined. Oh my God, she kept saying. I grabbed her arm. Please, I begged. What happened? Is my daughter okay? She looked at me and hesitated. I don't know, she said. The bride just fell. She was smiling one moment, then the next she screamed and fell down. There was blood. I think there was blood. Blood. My knees almost gave way. Daniel caught me quickly. Grace, please stay with me, he whispered. At that moment, the doors finally opened wide as two men rushed out with a stretcher. Everyone went quiet. I held my breath. They carried someone on it, covered halfway with a white cloth. My hands started to shake badly. As they passed closer, the cloth moved slightly. I saw her face. It was Sarah, my daughter. Her eyes were closed. Her lips were pale. There was a small line of blood at the side of her head. That's my daughter. I screamed and tried to run to her. This time, no one stopped me. I fell beside the stretcher, holding her cold hand. Sarah, my baby, can you hear me? I cried. She did not move. The paramedics pushed the stretcher quickly toward the ambulance outside. I followed, crying and praying loudly. Please, God, don't take her. Please. She is all we have. They closed the ambulance door, and one of the paramedics turned to me. Madam, you cannot come with us, he said quickly. We need space. I am her mother. I cried. Please let me come. Before he could answer, another man stepped forward. Michael. The groom. He looked angry. Not scared. Not worried. Just angry. Why are you causing trouble here? He snapped. Didn't I tell you not to come? I stared at him, shocked. Your wife just collapsed, I said through tears. She may be dying. And this is what you are saying? He looked away. They said she will be fine, he muttered. It's probably stress. Probably stress? Daniel stepped forward slowly, his eyes full of pain and quiet anger. If anything happens to my daughter, he said calmly, you will not be able to hide. Michael clenched his jaw. This is not your place, he said. You were not invited. Please leave. I felt something break inside me. My own daughter fell. And you are still talking about invitation? I whispered. The ambulance drove away with loud sirens. And just like that, our daughter was gone from our sight again. We sat on a bench outside the hall, numb and silent. People inside were whispering. Some guests started leaving. The wedding was clearly over. Daniel stared at the ground. I should have protected her, he said quietly. I saw this coming. I wanted to blame him. I wanted to blame myself. But deep inside, another truth was rising. We were pushed away on purpose. This was not just about a wedding. Something dark was hiding underneath. After some time, a woman walked toward us slowly. She looked around like she did not want anyone to hear her. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I shouldn't talk, but I think you need to know something." I looked up quickly. "Please," I said. "Anything." She swallowed. "I am one of the bridesmaids," she said. "I've been with your daughter since morning." "And?" I urged. She looked at the hall, then back at me. "Your daughter did not look happy today," she said. "She was crying before the ceremony. She kept saying she felt trapped." Trapped. My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. "She said she wanted to talk to you and her father," the woman continued. "But Michael shouted at her. He said if she delayed the wedding, there would be consequences." "What kind of consequences?" I asked, my voice shaking. "I don't know," she replied. "But he was very angry." He grabbed her arm. Hard. My nails dug into my palms. "And the fall?" I asked. "What really happened?" The woman lowered her voice even more. "She didn't just fall," she whispered. "They were arguing behind the stage. I heard her scream. Then, she came out shaking. She took 2 steps, and collapsed." The world felt unreal. "Did anyone push her?" Daniel asked slowly. The woman hesitated. "I didn't see a push," she said. "But I saw fear. Real fear. In her eyes. She left quickly after that, scared someone would see her talking to us." I sat there frozen. "She wanted us there," I whispered. "She wanted us there." Daniel closed his eyes, tears sliding down his face. At that moment, Michael came out of the hall again, speaking on his phone. Yes, make sure the doctors don't ask unnecessary questions," he said without noticing us. "We don't need problems today." My heart stopped. What did he mean by that? He noticed us and walked closer. "Why are you still here?" he asked coldly. "The wedding is over." I stood up slowly. "I want to see my daughter," I said firmly. "At the hospital." He shook his head. "No. I will handle everything. You can go home." Something deep inside me rose. "No," I said. "You will not stop me this time." He leaned closer and whispered something that made my blood run cold. "If you interfere," he said, "you may regret it. You already ruined enough." At that moment, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I answered with shaking hands. A weak voice spoke from the other side. "Mum," the voice whispered. It was Sarah. Alive. But she was crying. And before I could answer, the line went dead. Michael's eyes widened. He slowly turned toward me. "What did she tell you?" he asked sharply. I looked at him. And for the first time, I was not afraid. Because I knew one thing now. My daughter wanted help. And whatever happened at that wedding was only the beginning. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. "Mum." Her voice still echoed in my head. That one word was enough to wake a fire inside me. I looked straight into Michael's face. He was trying to stay calm, but his eyes were full of panic. "What did she say?" he demanded again, his voice low and dangerous. Daniel stepped beside me. "You will not speak to my wife like that," he said firmly. "Not today. Not ever." Michael scoffed. "You people love drama," he said. "She is stressed, that's all. You should go home and rest." I did not argue with him anymore. I knew something he didn't think I knew. My daughter was scared. "Come, Daniel," I said quietly. "We are going to the hospital." Michael laughed shortly. "You won't see her," he said. "The doctors will only allow her husband." "I am her mother," I cut in, my voice stronger than I felt. And no security list can stop me there. We turned and began to walk away. Behind us, Michael shouted, "You are making a big mistake." I did not turn back. The hospital lights were too bright. The smell of medicine filled the air. We waited and waited. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, a nurse walked toward us. "Are you the parents of Sarah Collins?" she asked. "Yes," I said quickly. "Please, how is she?" The nurse looked unsure. "She is stable for now," she said. "But she had a serious shock. Emotional and physical." "Can we see her?" Daniel asked. The nurse hesitated. "Her husband said no visitors," she replied. My heart dropped. "But she called me," I said. "She asked for me." The nurse's eyes widened slightly. "She called you?" she asked softly. "Yes." She looked around, then lowered her voice. "She's in Ward 12, she whispered. 5 minutes. Please be quick." I wanted to hug that nurse. My daughter looked so small on the hospital bed. Machines beeped softly around her. Her face was pale, and there were bruises on her wrist. Bruises. I covered my mouth to stop myself from screaming. I rushed to her side and held her hand. "My baby," I whispered. "I'm here. Mum is here." Her eyes opened slowly. "Mum," she whispered again. Tears poured down my face. "Why?" I cried. "Why didn't you let us come?" She tried to sit up but winced in pain. "He said, if I invited you, he would cancel everything," she whispered. "Who?" Daniel asked gently. "Michael," she said, her voice breaking. "He said you were trying to control me. That you would ruin my life." I felt sick. "What happened at the hall?" I asked softly. Her lips trembled. "He slapped me," she said. I froze. "Behind the stage," she continued. "We were arguing. I said I wanted you there. He got angry. He grabbed my arm. Then he slapped me. My head hit the wall. My legs felt weak." "That was why you screamed," I whispered. She nodded, tears running freely now. "I felt dizzy," she said. I walked out. Then everything went dark. Daniel turned away, his shoulders shaking. I wanted to go find Michael and scream at him. But I stayed. "Why didn't you tell us earlier?" I asked her. She looked ashamed. "He changed after we got engaged," she said. "He controlled who I talked to. He said you were against him. He said if I obeyed him, everything would be peaceful." I kissed her hand. "You don't need peace that comes with fear," I said. Just then, the door burst open. Michael walked in. "What is going on here?" he shouted. "Why are they inside?" Sarah flinched at the sound of his voice. The nurse followed him in. "Sir, please calm down," the nurse said. He ignored her and moved closer to the bed. "Did you tell them stories again?" he snapped at Sarah. I stood up slowly, placing myself between them. "You will not talk to her like that again," I said. He laughed bitterly. "You are poisoning her mind," he said. "She fell because she is weak." Daniel stepped forward. "Leave," he said. "Now." Michael pointed at us. "This marriage is still happening," he said. "Once she is discharged, we will redo the wedding quietly." Sarah looked at him with fear in her eyes. "No," she whispered. The room went silent. Michael turned to her sharply. "What did you say?" "I said no," she repeated, stronger this time. "I'm not marrying you." His face changed. "You don't mean that," he said. "I do," she replied. "I'm scared of you." He clenched his fist. "Shut up," he hissed. At that moment, hospital security rushed in. "Sir, step away from the patient," one of them ordered. Michael backed away, furious. "This isn't over," he said, pointing at all of us. "You will regret this." He stormed out. Sarah broke down crying. I held her tightly. "You are safe now," I whispered. But deep inside, I knew he was not done. Because a man who loses control once will try to take it back again. And just as we thought the worst was over, a police officer walked into the ward. "We need to ask some questions about what happened at the wedding," he said. Sarah squeezed my hand in fear. And before anyone could speak, the officer said something that made my heart stop. "Sir," he said, looking at Daniel, "we have a complaint that you caused the incident." I stared at him in disbelief. "What?" I whispered. The lies had already begun. The police officer's words hung in the air like dark smoke. "Excuse me," I said, my voice shaking. "What do you mean my husband caused the incident?" The officer held a small notebook. "We received a report," he said calmly. "The groom claims there was an argument involving the bride's father before the ceremony. He says the stress from that confrontation led to the bride collapsing." Daniel looked stunned. "I did not even go inside the hall," he said slowly. "You can ask anyone. Security refused to let us in." The officer nodded slightly. "Yes, we were told that," he replied. "But the groom says you were shouting outside, making threats. He says the bride was frightened by your behavior." My chest burned with anger. "That is a lie," I shouted. "A wicked lie." Sarah began to cry. "He's lying," she whispered. "Daddy didn't touch me. He wasn't even there." The officer looked at her. "Miss, you are under stress," he said gently. "We will talk to you properly later." I could not believe my ears. "Why are you listening to him?" I cried. "Why won't you listen to your own daughter?" The officer sighed. "Ma'am, please calm down," he said. "For now, sir," he added, turning to Daniel, "we will need you to come with us to the station to give a statement." My heart dropped to the floor. "Now?" I asked in disbelief. "Yes, now," he replied. "Just routine." Routine. They always call it routine. Daniel held my hands. "Grace, don't worry," he said softly. "The truth will come out." But I saw fear in his eyes. As they led him away, Sarah screamed, "Daddy, please don't go." I ran after them. "This is not right," I shouted. "The man who hurt her is free, and you are taking my husband?" The officer stopped and turned. "Ma'am, if you interfere, we will have to take you too." I froze. And just like that, my daughter lay in a hospital bed crying. And my husband was being taken away in handcuffs. Hours passed like days. Sarah refused to eat. She kept shaking. "He said he would destroy you," she whispered. "He told me if I ever left him, he would make you both suffer." My blood ran cold. "Why didn't you tell the police this?" I asked. She shook her head. "He has friends," she said. "Powerful friends. He warned me nobody would believe me." That explained everything. By evening, a different nurse came to check on Sarah. She looked at the bruises again. "These injuries are not from a fall," she said quietly. "This looks like force." I grabbed her hand. "Please," I begged. "Can you say that officially?" She hesitated. I have children," she whispered. "I can't lose my job." I felt hopeless. Later that night, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered quickly. "Hello, madam," a male voice said. "This is Officer Thomas from Central Station." My heart pounded. "Yes. Where is my husband?" He paused. "We have a problem," he said. "What problem?" I asked. "The groom has filed a formal assault charge against your husband," he replied. "He claims your husband attacked him earlier that day." I almost dropped the phone. "That's impossible," I cried. "There are witnesses," the officer added. "Witnesses?" I whispered. "Yes," he said. "Some guests are backing his story." I knew then, money was speaking. "Please," I said softly, "can I talk to my husband?" There was silence. Not yet, he replied. But I advise you to get a lawyer. The line went dead. That night, I sat beside Sarah's bed, holding her hand. This is all my fault, she cried. If I listened to you, none of this would have happened. Listen to me, I said firmly. This is not your fault. Fear changes people. He used that. She nodded weakly. Mum, she whispered, there's something else. My heart skipped. What? He took something from me, she said, her voice barely audible. Before the wedding. Something important. I leaned closer. What did he take? She looked around, afraid someone would hear. A document, she whispered. My work documents. And my phone at first. Why? I asked. He didn't want proof, she replied. Proof? Of what? Before she could explain further, the door opened again. This time, 2 police officers walked in. One of them spoke coldly. Madam, he said, we are here to take the bride's statement again. Sarah's grip tightened on my hand. I don't want to talk to them alone, she whispered in panic. You don't have to, I said, standing up. The officer shook his head. She must, he replied. And you need to step outside. No, I said firmly. He narrowed his eyes. Madam, he warned, do not obstruct justice. I looked at my daughter's terrified face. If I left her alone with them, what would they twist next? And just then, as they moved closer to her bed, Sarah fainted again. The machines began to beep wildly. Nurses rushed in shouting. And one officer turned to me and said something that shattered what little hope I had left. If she dies, he said coldly, this case becomes very serious. I screamed for help. Because now, they were not just taking our truth. They were taking our breath. The beeping sound grew louder. Too loud. Doctors and nurses rushed into the room, pushing me gently aside. Please step back, madam. Sarah's body lay still on the bed. Her face looked gray. Her lips trembled like she was trying to breathe but couldn't. Sarah. My baby. Please. I cried. A doctor pressed something into her arm. She had a panic-induced blackout, he said quickly. Her body is reacting to severe emotional trauma. Emotional trauma. I knew exactly who caused it. They worked on her for several minutes that felt like hours. Finally, the beeping slowed. Her chest rose gently again. She's stable, the doctor said. But she must be protected from stress. No more pressure. I turned to the police officers standing at the door. Did you hear that? I snapped. No more pressure. No more threats. No more lies. One of them cleared his throat. We still need her statement, he said. Not today, the doctor interrupted firmly. If you push her now, she could die. The officers exchanged looks. Very well, one said. We'll return. They walked out. But I knew they weren't finished. Later that night, when Sarah finally woke up, her eyes searched the room in fear. Is he here? She whispered. No, I said quickly. You're safe. She relaxed slightly. Mum, she said, her voice weak. I'm tired of being scared. I held her face gently. Then we stop being scared, I said. Together. She swallowed. There's something on my laptop, she whispered. He didn't know about it. What is it? I asked. Recordings, she said. Messages. Voicemails. He used to threaten me when he was angry. My heart pounded. Where is the laptop? At our apartment, she replied. He thought I deleted everything. I didn't. For the first time since the wedding day, I felt a small light of hope. That is the truth, I said. And the truth can save your father. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Please, she begged. Save Daddy. I promise, I said. Early the next morning, I went straight to the police station with a lawyer a friend connected me to overnight. Daniel looked tired. His eyes were red. But when he saw me, he tried to smile. They are trying to break me, he whispered. But I won't lie. I squeezed his hands. They won't succeed, I said. We have something. Before I could say more, an officer walked in. New development, he announced. My heart stopped. What now? The lawyer asked. The groom has changed his story, the officer said. He now claims the bride attacked him before collapsing. I gasped. They keep twisting everything, I cried. The officer continued, and because of this, we are considering extending your husband's detention. Extend? My knees almost gave out. But, the officer added slowly, there is something else. We all looked at him. This morning, a hospital staff member submitted an anonymous report, he said. It claims the bride showed signs of domestic abuse before the wedding. My breath caught. Anonymous. Someone had finally spoken. The officer leaned forward. If this report is proven, he said, the case direction will change completely. I felt tears of relief. But before joy could settle, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered cautiously. Hello. A familiar cold voice spoke. You think you're winning? Michael said quietly. You just started a war. My blood ran cold. I know about the laptop, he continued. If you touch it, your husband will not come home. The call ended. I stood there frozen. Because he knew. And that meant only one thing. He would destroy the evidence before we could reach it. My hands were shaking when I lowered the phone. He knew. How could he know? My lawyer whispered. I swallowed hard. He listens, I said. He always does. There was no time to think. If that laptop disappears, I said firmly, my husband stays in that cell, and my daughter goes back into fear. My lawyer nodded. We need the evidence now, he said. Before he reaches it. I rushed back to the hospital. Sarah was half asleep, but when I told her what Michael said, her eyes flew open. He'll burn it, she whispered. He always destroys what he's afraid of. Then we move fast, I said. Do you have a spare key? She nodded weakly. Inside my purse. Under the zip. I grabbed it. The apartment felt cold and empty. This was where my daughter's happiness had slowly turned into fear. Daniel had never been allowed inside this place. I opened the door carefully. Everything looked normal at first. Too normal. I walked straight to the bedroom. The wardrobe was open. Drawers were pulled out. He's already been here, I whispered. My heart raced as I searched everywhere. Please, please, I muttered. Then I saw it. Under the bed. The laptop bag. I grabbed it like a lifeline. Just then, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow. Heavy. You're too late. Michael's voice. I turned slowly. He stood in the doorway, calm, holding his phone. You shouldn't have come, he said. Now things get ugly. I stepped back. This ends today, I said, holding the laptop tightly. He laughed. You think files will save you? He asked. People believe who they want to believe. He moved closer. Give it to me. No, I said. His face darkened. You always push too much, he said. Just like your daughter. I rushed toward the door. He grabbed my arm hard. Pain shot through me. Just then, the door burst open. Police! Someone shouted. Michael froze. 2 officers rushed in. He released my arm instantly. Perfect timing, he sneered. She broke into my apartment. I held the laptop up with shaking hands. I have proof, I cried. He abused my daughter. He lied. It's all here. The officers exchanged looks. We need to verify that, one said. Michael stepped closer to them. Careful, he whispered loudly. That woman is unstable. The officer took the laptop. We'll take this, he said. My heart sank. What if they delete it? I whispered. Before anyone could respond, a new voice spoke from the hallway. No one deletes anything. A man in a suit walked in. My name is Mr. Harris, he said. I represent the hospital. He looked at Michael. And the anonymous report, he continued. It came from me. Michael's confidence cracked. I saw her bruises, Mr. Harris said. And I saw you shouting at her before the ceremony. Michael took a step back. This is a setup, he hissed. No, the officer said firmly. This is evidence. Michael's phone buzzed in his pocket. He looked at it, then turned pale. They've arrested your husband, he laughed nervously. Too late. The officer frowned. No, he corrected. We've released him. Michael's face went still. Released? He whispered. Yes, the officer said. Pending investigation of you. Michael's eyes locked on me with pure hatred. You ruined everything, he growled. I held the laptop tighter. No, I said softly. You did. And at that very moment, the officer's radio crackled. Sir, a voice said urgently, we just received a report from the hospital. The bride is missing. My heart dropped. Missing. I screamed. The world spun. Because if Sarah was gone, and Michael was standing right in front of me, then someone had taken her. And it wasn't a stranger. Missing. That one word felt heavier than any blow. What do you mean missing? I screamed. She was in her hospital bed. The officer pressed his radio again. Explain clearly, he ordered. The voice on the other side sounded panicked. The bride was moved from Ward 12 about 15 minutes ago, the voice said. The nurse on duty thought she was being transferred for tests. But there is no transfer record. No wheelchair log. No doctor's order. My chest tightened until breathing hurt. I looked at Michael. His face was calm. Too calm. You did this, I whispered. Didn't you? He raised both hands slowly. Careful, he said softly. Accusations can destroy lives. I rushed toward him, but the officers grabbed my arms. Ma'am, control yourself, one said. Control myself? I cried. My daughter is gone. Mr. Harris spoke sharply. Lock down the exits, he said. Now. The officers rushed out. Michael smiled faintly. You see, he said. Confusion everywhere. I stared into his eyes. You promised her peace, I said. And you gave her fear. He leaned closer. She belongs to me, he whispered. Marriage or not. That was it. That was the truth. We rushed back to the hospital. The place was chaos. Nurses were crying. Phones were ringing. Doctors were shouting instructions. She was weak, I kept saying. She couldn't even walk. A young nurse approached us, shaking. I saw someone, she said quietly. A man in a cap. He said he was her husband. He showed her ring. My heart sank. And you let him take her? I cried. I thought. The nurse broke down. I thought it was normal. Security cameras were pulled up. The screen showed it clearly. Michael pushing a wheelchair. Sarah slumped forward, barely conscious. Her head wrapped in a light scarf. He stopped once, looked straight at the camera, and adjusted the cap. Like he wasn't afraid at all. I covered my mouth. He planned this, Daniel said beside me. He had just arrived, free but shaken. From the beginning. The officer nodded. This is now kidnapping, he said. We will issue an alert. Just then, my phone vibrated. A message. Unknown number. I opened it with trembling fingers. If you want her alive, bring the laptop. Come alone. No police. Attached was a photo. Sarah. Her eyes half open. Tears on her cheeks. My scream echoed through the hospital. No. I cried. Please God, no. Daniel grabbed my shoulders. We will go together, he said. I shook my head. He said alone. I whispered. If I don't listen, he will kill her. The officer stepped forward. You cannot go, he said. This man is dangerous. I looked at my husband. At least this time, I said. She knows I came. I turned back to the message. A location followed. An old warehouse outside town. My phone buzzed again. You have 1 hour. My heart felt like it was breaking into pieces. Because I knew something deep inside me. This was no longer about control. This was about revenge. And I didn't know if my daughter would survive this night. The warehouse was quiet. Too quiet. I stepped inside alone, just like the message said. My footsteps echoed on the cold floor. My hands shook, but my heart was strong. Stronger than fear. Michael. I called out. I'm here. I came alone. A light came on. There he was. And beside him, my daughter. Tied to a chair. Weak. Crying. Mum. She whispered. I dropped the laptop to the ground. Please, I begged. Let her go. Take whatever you want. Michael laughed. Your daughter's joyful day ended the moment she chose you over me, he said coldly. This was never about love. It was about control. He stepped closer to Sarah. But now, he continued, it's over. Suddenly. Police sirens. Michael turned in shock. The doors burst open. Daniel ran in first. I'm here, baby, he shouted. Michael tried to run, but it was too late. He was tackled to the ground. Handcuffed. Screaming. Sarah collapsed into my arms, sobbing. It's over, I cried. It's over. The officers lifted her carefully. The laptop played loudly behind us. His threats. His voice. His lies. That night, my daughter's wedding ended. But her life began again. Friends, this story could have ended in death. But love spoke louder. Please subscribe for more emotional, powerful stories. Like this video to support voices that were silenced. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story. Comment where you are watching from. I want to know who stood with us. Thank you for listening. Love saved her. Truth won.